Well, good morning, guys. This is the Bass Piper, and it's Friday morning. Oh, I guess around quarter after 10 in the morning. And I just want to come to y'all today. I've been pondering a couple of things over the last couple of days, and I just wanted to share some things with you. Before I get started, I'm going to eventually have, after I make this video, my Savinelli 320 Sienna 9 millimeter. And in it, I'm going to be putting some Sutliff Sunset rum in it. And so that's what I'll be having. I haven't filled it up yet, but that's the pipe I'll be smoking. Let me set this over here. Couple of things that I wanted to share. First off, I think we need to all that are of the praying kind to start, if you haven't already, start praying for the Ukrainians and this situation with Russia. I tell you guys, I ain't never in my life seen the stuff that's going on over here from a madman, Putin, who is nothing but a thug and a dictator. And I pray to God that somebody within the Russian country will still have a heart and a conscience and a soul that's near to him, that they can rise up against him and take him out one way or the other, either out of office on his feet or in a body bag. But this stuff here is getting to be ridiculous. That innocent lives that have not done anything to him or to the country, that they are sacrificing their life, their women, the children, everything. And if something don't happen soon in the next few days, it looks like it's going to be an onslaught of just a massacre. This makes no sense in the day and time and society that we're in. But anyway, I pray that you all will be praying for those families over there. You know, the regime, I know it's just kind of a corrupt regime. A lot of it in the upper echelon. I'm not saying the president is over there, but I do know and have heard that they've had some problems over the years with, they got their own type of thugs, I guess, at the top level. But now, what country don't? I mean, the United States, we have ours too. We just do it in a little bit different flair and fashion. But we have our political cartel as well. It's called Washington, D.C., aka the Deep State. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to share that. It's been on my heart for a couple of days. My wife and I have been watching the Fox News and Newsmax and different things of that nature. And to me, they're about the only trustworthy, halfway decent news source out there, and that you're going to get stuff legit. And so, but that's Bass Piper's belly button opinion. I'm not trying to tell you what news channel to watch. But guys, we just need a lot of prayer, and it's a sad state. I mean, because it could be us. You know, we could be in it as well. And I do think that NATO and even if it means us getting over there with some things to get this mess under control, we need to try to do something to help these people. Now, people go, well, Bass Piper, if you go over there, you know, we're going to be setting off World War III. And I got news for you. We're going to be in World War III no matter what. It's coming because I don't think Putin is going to stop. And as soon as he hits Article 5 with tapping in on some of the other countries or trying to invade, the game's on. And, you know, he's trying to threaten everybody with nuclear weapons and all of that. Well, you know, Russia's got the largest nuclear buildup. I think they got around 6,000 nukes. We got about 5,500 nukes. I think China's got about 300 nukes. And I think there's about 9 countries that have nukes altogether. I don't know the other different sizes of arsenal. But what is that going to accomplish? I mean, you know, we toss nukes, he tosses nukes, and we all disintegrate, and there we go. It ain't going to accomplish nothing on his end. What's the use of taking Ukraine? You know, and so, but anyway, we can't let some of this stuff deter us. Somehow we need to get in there and get some stuff done to help those people. And it sounds like the United States is always a day late and a dollar short. We're dragging our feet with this stuff. And I liked what the president of Ukraine said to Biden. I think it was Biden that called and talked to him last week, saying he could have him over here in the United States and get him out of there. And the Ukraine president said, "I don't need a ride. I need ammunition." So that speaks well of their president. And for a lack of better words, this guy's got some manhood between his legs, and he's staying with his people. Yeah, he could fly off with millions of dollars on a jet plane and take off, but he's staying there. How many leaders would do that? So anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to come off of what Buckeye Piper put on. I think it was yesterday. And he was talking about the workplace and basically trying to balance your time with work and stuff of that nature. This is for all the young guys, the younger pipers that are, I'm going to say about 45 on down, about 45 years old on down. What he had to say was true, guys. I'm 60 years old. I'm on my last 7 to 10 years, give or take, before I retire. So I'm doing my last 7 to 10 year stint, so to speak, in the workplace. I'm pastoring right now, and if God allows my health to be well and continue, I have a type of job that I could go to 75 or 80 years old if I wanted to. But bass piper's trying to work it between the next 7 to 10 years. But I've seen a lot of stuff. And what Buckeye had to tell people was true. And I tell you, men, if you've got families and you've got children, heed what he had to say in a lot of ways, and I'll add to it. It's not worth it. Working those 10, 15-hour days on a job, getting into big positions and management and directorships and VPs and all. You got to first understand one thing. I learned a long time ago. A company don't give a rat's patootie about you. You are nothing but a disposable. Years ago, you used to have what was called personnel departments. So somebody went to bed and dreamt up a new word for it called human resources. So you went from a person to a disposable. And he's right. I mean, you can work yourself silly and find yourself at 45 years old with a heart attack. They're not going to care. Because if you drop dead working your tail off for them, all they're going to be going is hitting the button, one of the executives calling the secretary or calling human resources and go, "Yep, we need to put out another job application on Indeed, or a job opening on Indeed or Monster.com or CareerBuilders.com or whatever. We got to get another body in here." That's all you are. And the faster you learn that, and the faster you find out that it's all not about money. You got to get off this thing about money, 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 and you watch your kids deteriorate. You watch the streets raise your kids. You and your wife don't hardly know each other anymore. She's going in one direction. You're going in the other direction. Everybody's trying to build up their nest egg of what? I mean, just look what's happening right now. Bass Piper sweating out his 401k. Miss Bass Piper, Sweet Tater, is sweating out her 401k. We're in the last, five. She's got about 4.5 years to work. I'm gonna work probably a little longer, but we could see all of our stuff go. We ain't got time to build it back up. We don't have 30, 25 years, 30 years to sit there and go, okay, well, we took about a $40,000, $80,000, $100,000 hit. Now, where are we gonna make that up? So when you got your stuff in the market and you got all the, hey man, it's just playing, Russian roulette at Vegas. It's the crap shoot at Vegas at the casinos, and working all those hours and sacrificing your family, guys, and sacrificing missing the ball games and missing the concerts and missing the thing. You don't get those back, man. You don't get those back. A job will be here for you. It may not be that job, but you'll find another job. And especially those of y'all that are young enough that you're still marketable. You can still grab a job tomorrow, get on with a company a temp company, whatever it is, and man, they can have you working within a few days. Now, when you start getting to base piper's age, yeah, it gets a little tougher because they look at your age. Now, they don't tell you that, and they're not going to for lawsuits, but they look at all of that, and they go, "Yeah, we're going to hire this guy. You know what? He's going to work 5 years, and So, and then plus that, how much money is he going to want? We can't pay him chump change like we're doing the 20 and 30-year-olds. This guy here, man, he's in the prime of life and in the last part of his workday, so to speak, probably a little past my prime of life, but he can't live on chump change anymore. And so, those 15-hour days to hold a position, what good is it, man? If it's burning you out, causing marital problems, your kids are going every which way but loose, it's not worth it. It really isn't. Take my advice. You do what you want. It's your life. It's your family. It's, your deal. But I can tell you from experience, coming off of even Buckeye Piper, and I know he's been wrestling with some things, but I can tell you, man, I don't blame him. If he can get another job somewhere, I think he's trying to finish up his MBA. That'll be great. He can get into a different position in that, and move on. But even at that, the higher you go up, the more they're going to demand. And, the more you look at some of these jobs that offer, man, $35, $40 an hour, union jobs, longshoreman jobs, these kinds of jobs, man, they're just, man, you're going to live there. In fact, you don't even have a life. Down here in Virginia, the longshoreman it's a joke. It takes you forever and a day to even try to get a week of full time because there's so many people seniority wise in front of you. I watched a young man do this, friends of ours. And he would go to work at 7 in the morning, get off at say 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're calling him back at 7 that night because somebody didn't come in and he's working. He can't do nothing because you got to be on call so much for some of these union jobs. And if you don't take it, man, they won't keep you or they'll put somebody else in your slot. What kind of life is that? Yeah, man, but I'm making 30 some dollars. Hey, come on, man. It ain't all about the money, man. You know, you can drive that Honda Accord versus driving that Beamer 7 Series. Okay, you got to get over that with the money. But that's the only thing they got to offer people to get them to do the job. And most of these big paying jobs, even the corporate jobs, that's going to hold you to a desk, hold you to be the guy above you or the woman above you. You're going to be her company whore or her whipping post for 6 days a week or 7 days a week. Because believe me, when you're not there, they're going to expect you to be on call that they can get you at any time. You got to sit back and wonder, is this mess going to be worth it? Oh yeah, man, I went from $60,000 to now, man, I'm making $120,000 a year. Okay, and bonuses. Yeah, that all sounds great. They got to do something to make sweeten the pot. But how much are you sacrificing and how much is it on your health? And the older we get, guys, we're not as resilient as we were at 60 than we were at 35. And so as you start getting older, I've watched so many people climb the ladder. They lose their wife. They end up losing their life, some of them. But they lose their wife, they lose their family, they're divorced, they're paying child support. Some of them are paying alimony. What are they doing? Boy, that really benefited them a lot now, didn't it? So, so you got to, you got to gauge yourself. I know there's some people that are just, born bred workaholics. They just work. You got to work, 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 work till they drop dead on the ground, and you pick them up and send them on their way. But if you're a workaholic, my pastoral advice: don't get married, and definitely don't have kids. I've seen that happen too many a time. I worked for a doctor that was like that. She was a workaholic. She was a surgeon. She was making the money. Oh, big money, man. Big money. I'm talking big money, $400,000 and $500,000 salaries. Yeah, big money. But she ended up having a manny or a nanny raising her kids. Got married. Her husband was an engineer. He's left his job to stay home and play Mr. Mom. She brought in the bread and the bacon and all the good groceries with her salary. And the kids basically don't even know what a mama is. I mean, she's at work. She's working all the time. She don't want to be bothered. She's playing the man. He's playing the woman. Now that they've gotten older, preteen, teenage years, he's kind of faded out doing stuff with his buddies. But a manny or a nanny, whichever one they get from one of these international swap outs, they do for a year or whatever. They're basically having to do that for tax write-offs because taxes are eating them up on the money they make. And so it's a discombobulated family. It's a dysfunctional family. You go, well, how in the world, man? I mean, look at all the money they got coming. Yeah, but the money is not what it's about. I mean, look at the Hollywood people, the sports people making, this one guy. I said in one of my videos down the road, what was his name? Breeze, I think, a baseball player, $300 million, 13-year contract, 30 million his first year, 10 million sign on, $20 million salary. The next 9 years, I think it was going to be at 26 million a year, and then the last three at 29 million a year. It's kind of like, and you got people like that, and they're still not happy. You got Hollywood actors and actresses, multimillionaires marrying multimillionaires. They can't stay married. They're shooting themselves. They're hanging themselves. They're ODing themselves. You got music industry doing the same thing. Money is not the answer. We got to have a certain amount, yes. But to waste your life for a company that doesn't give a rat's you know what about you, they'll cut you loose like that, whether you've been there 2 weeks or 25 years. And then they'll tell you, don't take it personal. It's just business. They don't care. I don't care what the boss says about you and how many data boys and how many hamburgers he goes out and pays for you to all to go to lunch. And you think you're on riding the top of the game, buddy, you'll fall from grace in a minute. And usually it's the first time you reject something or the first time you say, no, I don't think I want to go that route, boss. Drop you like a hot potato, man, don't even know you anymore. Long as you're their yes man, you're their doormat, you're their butt wipe, you're spot on for a while. Until they use you, abuse you, and roll you up. When they're done with you, you're gone. And the guy in the big seat's going, next, bring the next victim, the next applicant in. Young pipers, take a little wisdom from Buckeye Piper and Bass Piper. I know I may have come at it at a different slant, but it all wraps up to the same stuff. It ain't worth working yourself silly around the clock. Give a 8-day, maybe a 10-day work day and call it, that's it. What are you going to do for me, Mr. Employer? Now let me tell you what I'm going to do for you. And, you got to have some kind of balance. If you don't, it's going to cost you. And once mama leaves you and takes the kids, guys, now you got alimony maybe or child support. What has it benefited you? You're working now to support your kids, and money's coming out the backside of you. Everybody's got their hand out for what you make. You're not accomplishing nothing. Now instead of working 10 hours, you got to work 15 hours. So it's not worth it. It is not worth it, I can tell you. But you got to do you. You got to do you. Bass Piper's not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to offer some wisdom and advice from what an older man has learned over the years. And it's okay to pass up a job. It's okay to go start networking. That's why it's always better to find a job before you leave your job or quit your job. Because when they know you don't have a job, when you're trying to go for a job, Now they start playing with you with how much money they're going to pay you because they know you're desperate. You got to try to find something. Always never be in a desperate spot if you can help it. I know there's times you can't. But man, 20 minutes already. Good night, I reckon. Um, anyway, guys, I just want to get on here for a few minutes and just rant a little bit and maybe inform some people of some things and help some new younger pipers with stuff dealing with the workplace and especially for the Ukrainians, thinking about them. I know a lot of us have been thinking about that situation, but I tell you, we need to be praying for them and pray that the casualties will be not as great as it seems like they could be. Pray that God's will be done, whichever way it's going to be done, no matter what. Um, but somehow this thing can end before it really gets too bad. So anyway, guys, we will talk with you later and try to make something maybe next week if I can, if I got time. But until then, relax, have a pipe, and don't forget to reflect on the blessings that God gives you each and every day. They're out there. You just got to look for them. They're there. And till we see you again, Bass Piper will talk with you later. Bye bye.